The next speaker that I have the opportunity to introduce to you is Dr. Fulya. And Fulya, when I got ready to prepare my comments for this morning, I realized that I may mispronounce your last name because
no problem.
We've known each other for so long that I just call her Fulya. So Dr. Fulya Baysel-Gurel, and she is in McMinnville, a research professor at the TSU Nursery Research Station. And she's doing great work. I think 4 or 5 years you've
6 years.
Oh, 6 years already that Fulya's been in Tennessee. And we actually know each other because when I was doing my PhD at Ohio State, Fulya was running, as a postdoc then, the vegetable pathology lab. And so she did a lot of the diagnostics work. When I got panicked and had an issue with my lettuce, I would bring it to Fulya. And so I'm just really glad that she's in Tennessee doing great work. And we are so glad to have her with us this morning to present some of her work, some of the biorationals and projects that she's working on. And I just turn the floor over to you. And thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you. Yeah, for years we know each other with Natalie. So I'm glad I had the opportunity to present today our work. So since 2015, I'm in my position as nursery crop plant pathologist. So since then, I started great relationship with the industrial partners. So I will be demonstrating some of the results we conducted during the last 5 to 6 years, some trial results that can be implemented to your landscape as well. So let's start for our first, I may need to give news. So recently, actually, I promoted and I was awarded with tenure. So my title will be changing it to associate professor soon. And I have also another role right now. I'm serving as since February 2021, serving as interim associate dean of research at our College of Agriculture in Tennessee State University. So right now, my position is 50% split, but I have still active research programs. So, and I have still 5 graduate students, postdocs. So we are busy. So I will share some of the research results with you today and some of the updates. First, I would like to start with the boxwood blight. I'm sure you are aware about this disease presence and occurrence in Tennessee. I will give you some updates related with boxwood blight in general in the United States and also where we are in the research results. And I will be talking about our recently awarded SCRI grant. It's from USDA. Only focusing on one disease, boxwood blight. So it may tell you how important, and we received close to $4 million to address this issue in the United States. So 2 fungal species involved and cause the disease. And one of them is Calonectria pseudomaniculata, and the other one is Henricotia. And we had done so many studies. I remember our audience questioned Ellen about what was the introduction or how was introduced powdery mildew and anthracnose. So I will give you some perspectives related with boxwood blight too. So during last 6 years, I'm collaborating with Tennessee Department of Agriculture and also with USDA ARS researchers. Whatever comes to our table here is diagnosed with boxwood blight. So I'm culturing the pathogens. We are using some molecular techniques to determine the population and the relationship between, in the United States, other confirmed cases. So good thing, we have still only Calonectria pseudomaniculata. So this we have published this study in 2020. And we look at also the distribution and also population differences between the states. We couldn't find any differences between the state confirmed cases. So population is the same, but we were able to compare the European population to United States population, there is this distinct population difference between European and United States population. So those are some updates related with our research. We are lucky, still we don't have the Henricotia, and it had been confirmed first in the United Kingdom, and now 5 other countries in Europe, they had been confirmed positive with Henricotia. So they are dealing with 2 different species. So I'm calling ourselves lucky. We are dealing with only Pseudovaniculata. But being aware of Henricotia, so USDA ARS researchers, specifically in Maryland, Beltsville, so they have the VSL3 facilities. So they are trying to address the research questions side by side for Henricotia and also Pseudovaniculata, because we don't want to be catch if it comes to the United States. We want to have the research results for Henricotia management as well, and also its epidemiology and everything. So if there is any difference between Pseudovaniculata and Henricotia. So it is devastating disease. It had been confirmed in landscape and nurseries. Those are a few images I wanted to share. One of the image in the left-hand side, it is from the landscape in Oregon. So as you can see how it is changing the view of the landscape. And then the other one is actually right-hand side, one of the sales yard, unfortunately in Tennessee, had been confirmed positive with boxwood blight case. And due to our quarantine implementation, all the plants in the block, in the same block, they had to be destroyed. So as you can see how it is, and I know from that case, the loss, as you can see, those plants probably maybe $50 to $60, and their loss was close to $500,000. So a couple other images from the landscape. Again, this is from Portland, Oregon. So as you can see, boxwood, they had been confirmed with boxwood blight presence. Then, as you can see here, workers, they are really careful, and we will go through all the details, how to eradicate the area, how to clean up that area, which sanitation tools needs to be used. We will go through all those details. But you can see the view is changing. And what they planted in this landscape, so it was ilex. So we would like to, I know we love boxwood, but we want to hold boxwood still in the landscape. That's the reason with our SERI research project, we want to address some of the research questions, for example, including resistant cultivars and to boxwood blight or tolerant cultivars. So we want to, again, save our boxwood production, and we want to save our landscape designs, having the boxwood still. So this image actually from Longwood Gardens. The article came in January 2021. So for the historical gardens, specific, the boxwood has important place. You can see in chipwood, for example, and then you can see from the image actually in the right-hand side, that boxwood plant was confirmed case with boxwood blight, and how it is changing in the historical gardens, the view with confirmation of the disease. The pathogen can infect all growth states of boxwood plants, and the disease results in defoliation and decline of susceptible boxwood. And the fungus spreads over short and long distance, and I will go through what does it mean, short distance and long distance, in a couple slides. So once introduced to a landscape, boxwood blight is very difficult and costly to manage. So the distribution of boxwood blight. So you were questioning Dr. Ellen Wyndham about anthracnose and powdery mildew. Since this actually, the disease is new in the world, so we can keep track. And this is the published article from plant health progress from our society, American Phytopathological Society. And you can see the distribution in Europe. The first cases, actually, it was from New Zealand. And then it moved to the Europe, 1994, first identified in the United Kingdom. And then 2011, so during last 10 years, we are dealing with disease. So, and it was actually, it was lots of learning even for the researchers, lots of research questions, and to address the management strategies. First thing, of course, it was coming to the mind. So all boxwood plants, are they susceptible to this disease? So many studies have been conducted during last 10 years. And again, in 2011, first cases came from North Carolina and Connecticut, from nurseries and landscape. This is the 2021 result. Right now, I can tell it is close to 29. Hopefully the disease report will come through soon. North Dakota coming as positive confirmed case as well. So it's spreading in the United States. So it's a big problem. So how about in Tennessee? So first confirmed case, Dr. Wyndham, he involved in the confirmation of the disease in 2014. Then, as you can see here, I have the updated list till 2020. I may need to ask TDA, Katie Kilburn, to update again the distribution. It is in landscape, and also it is in the some of the nursery production as well. I will not say nursery production, sales yard, sorry. So since I started at Tennessee State University, as you know, McMinnville is very well known with the nursery production, and we are surrounded also with boxwood producers. And they had big concern because we had confirmed in 2016, just day before Thanksgiving, in the greeneries, boxwood greeneries, received to one of the box store in McMinnville. It had been confirmed with boxwood blight. So, and next year, again, we confirmed again in the greenery, and then sales yard had been confirmed. So we had the history. So that made the producers really aware about the problem, and they had big concerns. And Tennessee Department of Agriculture in 2018, February 4th, they implemented a quarantine to restrict movement of all boxwood and sarcophagus plant material into the state. This is the second example in the United States. The first quarantine implementation for boxwood blight happened in Pennsylvania. They had some differences in the implementation of quarantine, but here in Tennessee, it was more strict because the TDA was requesting from all the shipments phytosanitary certificate and also compliance agreement for boxwood cleanliness program from the state of origin. So this quarantine implementation actually pushed our nursery producers to do the business at home. So as you can see from the map, so previous maps, it is distributing. So what are you taking, which message are you taking from here? The long distance movement, and I highlighted the greenery materials, they came as infected. And the rooted cuttings or the other plant materials, they are also coming as infected. So it means long distance movement is happening with the plant material. That is the reason, again, it was very important for us, for our Tennessee producers, to be careful and do some of the work at home, producing for example, cuttings, rooted cuttings at home. So we will be looking at the long-term, again, impact, how quarantine implementation impacted our economy here and business in the future. Again, this is like 3 years, but my personal observation, it helped to have good business at home. So when I was going through the quarantine, I listed boxwood and also sarcococca, if you remember. So what are the hosts for boxwood blight? So again, during last 10 years, we are trying to look at what could be other source, because it is important if you have any other host, so they will survive even though you don't have, for example, you are treating your boxwoods well or following the sanitation practices. But if you have any other host in the landscape, that will be a problem. So according to some of the research results and also confirmed cases, boxwoods, wheatbox, and Japanese spurge, Pachysandra terminalis, they had been confirmed as host. And a couple two other species again, Pachysandra species also by inoculation, they had been confirmed as a host of the boxwood blight pathogen. Specifically again, excluding USDA ARS, the other researchers in the United States, we are working on pseudovaniculata, whatever is present. This is again from 2020, just a year ago. It was published by Truan Hong research team from Virginia Tech. So they also look at some of the ground covers and companion plants to be able to determine if they inoculate those plants, if they will start sporulating and producing again, completing the life cycle and producing the spores again, conidius again, to be able to infect the other plants. So according to the results again, and sporulation and infection was observed on 12 plant species, and they are listed here, and most of them well known in our landscape. So that's the reason I wanted to make you aware. So those could be, again, this study was conducted in the BSL-2 greenhouse conditions. It has not been conducted in outdoor studies as outdoor study, but it is still a good study to show the potential of those hosts being a host. So please keep those names in your mind. And if you have boxwood in your landscape, try to separate those from your boxwood, and also sarcococca and also Pachysandra. So what are the symptoms of boxwood blight? So reddish brown to brown concentric circular spots, as you can see from those pictures. Those are typical the symptoms of boxwood blight disease on infected leaves. When there's really heavy infestation on the plant, so the leaf spots may turn to the defoliations, as you can see from here. This is a container production. Again, you will be seeing heavy defoliation. That could be good sign for you to look in depth, and then seeing those circle areas, and then it may tell you you may have the boxwood blight issue. Couple others, again, close-up image from boxwood blight. And one other sign is if you are suspecting with boxwood blight, if you are observing those lesions, just turn the leaves and look at the underside of the leaves. And also, I will show you some stem images as well. You may see the infection also on the stems, the diamond-shaped necrosis, lesions on the stems. And even with naked eye, you can see the white fungus sporulation underside of the leaves. So looks like I didn't include the stem image, so I may share maybe our fact sheet with Natalie, and then she can send it to you for reading reason. So at the beginning, I pointed out pathogen spread. So we have two ways of pathogen spread: short distance and long distance. Short distance is happening with rain or irrigation water. I included here wind, but I will not call it is rain splash, or the splash may cause, and then with the water drops, if it moves through the wind, it may cause the short distance movement. And plant debris, definitely it is the cause for the short distance. Contaminated tools and equipment such as pruning tools, which my research team recently, just a month ago, we published in our society journal, Plant Disease, the movement of boxwood blight Choanectera pseudomaniculata through the pruning tools. So we have the clear demonstration, and then we also screen some of the disinfectants to eliminate the movement of boxwood blight pathogen, as well as another issue for the boxwood production, and also another disease, Voltella blight. We wanted to look at side by side to determine if there's any good product, good disinfectant will be eliminating both pathogen from the contaminated tools and equipments. So workers, also the reason of the short distance movement with contaminated boots and clothing, and animals. Unfortunately, pets, if you have dogs, cats around the boxwoods, if they touch and you saw those white spores, for boxwood blight, they can just touch and move to the other healthy plants, including, again, birds. It's hard to eliminate the birds, but yeah, those are also a source for the short distance movement. Long distance movement since the beginning of my presentation, and it may tell you also how we receive the plant materials from Europe, the long distance movements, most likely, again, with the plant traffic, United States received the pathogen with infected plant materials. And then it still continues between the states in the United States with the movement of contaminated plants. Cuttings, including boxwood greenery used for holiday decorations, definitely long distance pathogen spread way to introduce. In our recent study, again, which recently published, we also look at how to use the disinfectant dip treatments to the boxwood greeneries to eliminate the movement of the boxwood blight pathogen between the states. So we were successfully demonstrated some of the disinfectants, they are working. If the growers, after the harvest of the boxwood greeneries, if they can dip into those sanitizers, they can eliminate the movement between the states. So boxwood blight management, it's complicated, and you will see in the future couple slides, time to time, I will be saying as risk management. First, it starts with purchasing boxwood plants from the suppliers or nurseries that have been inspected by the state's Department of Agriculture and found to be apparently free from boxwood blight, and hold a boxwood blight cleanliness program compliance agreement. If you go to Tennessee Department of Agriculture webpage, they have a list of the nursery producers who are actually in the cleanliness program. They have the agreement, so it could be helpful for you to visit that page. And as I told you before, so risk management, it takes place here because we want to protect our plants ahead of the presence of the boxwood blight. So right planning for the landscape design is important. So as you can see, if you have two hosts next to each other, and if you have, for example, confirmation on boxwood, it will go to the other plants as well. So that's why it's critical if you are planting Sarcococca boxwood or Pachysandra boxwood together. So that's not a smart move in the landscape design. Ensure good air circulation in plantings, providing good spacing between the plants. And also a couple of researchers' recent study demonstrated actually the pruning shape of the boxwoods. It impacts also the boxwood blight disease severity. Convex shaped boxwood plants, they are holding less humidity. So comparing to the flat top boxwood plants. So the recommendation is take home message from here, again, pruning the shapes to reduce the humidity inside the plants. We know boxwoods, they are compact plants. It will help to reduce the disease severity. And using boxwood greenery for holiday decoration is not really recommended in close proximity to the landscape boxwood plantings or boxwood production areas. And if you again purchase holiday decorations, boxwood greeneries, dispose them in sealed double bags in a landfill. But definitely don't place in a compost pile, because they can survive for a long time, and they develop also microsclerotias, which we call surviving structures. They can live long periods. So even the condydias, they can live long periods. So once infected plants are detected, specifically in your landscape, they should be destroyed immediately to reduce the potential for spread of the disease. Side note, again, we have since 2018 quarantine implementation as well. You may need to inform the Tennessee Department of Agriculture about the confirmed case. Along with the plants, including roots, leaf, and stem debris should be removed from the landscape, because the pathogen again can survive for a long time, which is up to 5 years in plant debris. Couple images again from the landscape, how it had been handled and what's our recommendation if there's any confirmed case with the boxwood blight. So before leaf debris has been blown by wind, buried by erosion, or begun to decompose, flaming the soil surfaces with a propane push flamer. This is again research results I want to share with you, because I'm receiving questions related, okay, how many seconds we need to flame and what is the speed or what we need to do. So 1 meter distance flaming for 45 seconds, it will be sufficient in the surface again. And then after that, using the leaf vacuum can significantly reduce levels of inoculant of boxwood blight in the upper layer of soil. So this is again cleaning before decomposing or the buried into the soil. We want to do this step. So flaming the surface and then cleaning up the residue with the leaf vacuum. It will help again to reduce the inoculum. Couple images again, as you can see how workers, they are putting shoe covers, and then they are really careful even when they are carrying the plant materials. So you have to place some plastic layers not to drop the defoliated leaves. And fungicides, since 2011, so we are receiving lots of questions about what works, which fungicides. So is there any fungicides fix this problem or cure this problem? Until now, I am also conducting, I have the BSL Biosafety Level 2 room in Nursery Research Center. And during last 3 years also, I'm conducting fungicide screenings for boxwood blight management. Unfortunately, there's no curative treatments for management of boxwood blight. There are several, I will be sharing with you those fungicide options. We have some of the fungicides, they work well, reduce the severity on the plants. But they had to be sprayed 7 to 14 day intervals. And in landscape condition, it is costly, but there is a way, again, if you have, after the eradication, if you wanna save the other boxwood plants, you can keep your landscape in 7 to 14 day interval of fungicide application. So a spray program that includes fungicide with different modes of action is ideal for fungicide resistant management, which we did not address this yet for colonectria, but we know from the other fungal and oomycete pathogens. So we know they are easy to develop resistant to the fungicide. So that's the reason we are recommending rotation. Okay, let's move. What can be used? So Daconil weather stick bonite you can find from big box stores. This is a good product. I try to put here the years. So I need to update also with recent studies too. But still we are seeing even 2021 research results showing Daconil is the active ingredient is chlorothalonil, so it is the best product to reduce the severity of boxwood blight. So there are several other fungicides here, and then there's one more treatment torque, Bayer Advanced Control, that could be used in the landscape condition too. Of course, since 2011, we had looked also for the susceptibility of boxwoods to boxwood blight disease. So many different, I'm sure you can see the list of the studies from 4 different researchers, 4 different labs. They conducted studies. Unfortunately, each one conducted in a different way their research. And again, experimental design was different, condition was different. So none of them was replicated study. That is the reason, as you can see here, some of the cultivars in one study was showing as tolerant, and then one study was showing as highly susceptible. So we were not really comfortable recommending those boxwood species or the cultivars to the growers. Then we brought this to HRI's attention, so American Hort's attention. We asked them if they can focus on this and if they can help with the funding to the researchers to conduct replicated studies in different states. And since 2020, I know in Connecticut and North Carolina, they are conducting right now replicated studies. Hopefully soon, I know COVID impacted all the research too, but hopefully soon we will have some comparison from the replicated study that we can trust. And this is another study related with other host of boxwood blight. Jean Woodward from University of Georgia and her team worked on Sarcococca, different species, and take home message from here. And it is very important, highly important to the green industry, because Confusa, as you can see here, it is the most susceptible cultivar species between the others. And unfortunately, this is the most popular sweet boxes in cultivation. So when you are choosing your species, so my point is be careful. Specifically, Confusa is most susceptible to boxwood blight. So I will switch to the root rot disease, and I will give you a few examples. So one of them is Phytophthora root and crown rot control on boxwood. So one of them is from actually container production, and then this is the field production. And I'm pretty sure in the landscape condition, you will be seeing the similar symptom with yellowing plants or wilted plants. And then, or when you look at the crown part, you can see the rotten crown rot areas. So I just want to highlight, when you are doing your landscape, when you are working on your landscape, or when you are planting any crops, this is only one example as boxwood. My recommendation, please don't plant it deeply. So this is the major problem, an invitation to the soil-borne diseases, specific to oomycetes. So if the plant is under stress, then they will come to the plant. So, and they will start attacking the plant root system and crown system. This is again sharp example. So as you can see from the picture, boxwood plant started second root development because of the deep planting. So this is big concern. Please, please, please don't bury your plants so deep. And I will give you another image here. And this is again from field production, but it's similar. My point is the same. So those plants really shallow planted, even though you can see the erosion around the plants, and because of the flooding and all those plants went through, still they are healthy and they are good looking and they have good established root system, as you can see. But the previous picture, because of the deep planting, they are under stress. So how important the leveling the plants when you are planting, I just wanted to point that with those two pictures. Otherwise, again, you are giving invitation to the soil-borne pathogens. So we had conducted some studies for boxwood, phytophthora and crown rats control, and we tested several fungicides available in the market and available for the landscapers. And I will move to the other slides. And then we test also some of the biocontrol agents, which they are available again, even you can order them from Amazon. And I would like to, actually those products, I didn't share the research results, but they were really effective. Root Shield and Root Shield Plus, they were effective on reducing the disease severity in the root system. So those are good options for you to treat your plants and again, apply in intervals, follow the labels, and apply following their application interval, and you will be able to manage your phytophthora and crown rot issue. A couple other images, so healthy ruby slippers, hydrangea plant. I'm switching, I will be jumping from different crops to different crops, so giving you some ideas how the disease symptom occurs on the plants and what are the related diseases on those crops. So this is part of the root rot on hydrangea. All hydrangeas, they are susceptible to phytophthora root rot, but mostly oak-leaf hydrangeas more susceptible to phytophthora root rot. And if you are seeing in the landscape or surrounding your house, wilting on the plants on your oak-leaf hydrangeas, phytophthora could be the reason. We had conducted also several studies using the even biorational products, including Root Shield Plus, and including also some rotation programs and fungicides. And according to our results, phytophthora root rot control on hydrangea, when we are conducting our trials, we are also having control plants with inoculation and without inoculation. So I need to point that out because I will be comparing my results to the inoculated plants. So according to our inoculated plants with phytophthora, they were exhibiting root rot up to like 70%. They are almost dead. So, and have a look at here, some of the fungicides and even the Root Shield Plus, they were really reducing the disease level. So some of the treatments, they applied only once. So continuous application of those treatments, it may reduce the disease severity at the end, even from this level. Again, we are using the high inoculum level. Time to time, I'm saying, I'm trying to kill the plants and I'm trying to save the plants back again. So another disease we focused on rose downy mildew. This is problem generally in the nursery productions, wholesales. I have not seen these symptoms on the landscape, but if you have compact plants and shady areas and humidity is high, you may maybe notice this issue. And the plants could be also newly purchased plants could be latently infected, and then you may see the issue. Again, cool weather and high humidity increase the disease symptoms. And preventative fungicide applications in a rotation plan, it's important to manage this disease. All my seeds, they are easily developing resistance to fungicides. That's the reason we would like to follow the again, rotation specific to managing some of the important oomycete diseases. So we focus on the rose downy mildew management as well with the spray applications. And as you can see here, we are trying to see if we can extend the application interval. So it will help to the landscapers and it will help to the greenhouse or our producers. So, and including different chemistries each time, different active ingredients each time, and expanding the time from 7-day interval to the 14 days. That was the main goal for our project. So we had, of course, non-treated control. Again, the severity was and incidence was higher comparing to the other 7-day and 14-day intervals. Again, the spray rotation worked very well in both, but disease incidence was relatively low in the trial. So if the pressure being higher, probably we will be seeing difference between the application interval. Another disease, Cercospora leaf spot on hydrangea. We screened different fungicides, different frag codes, and then also some of the biocontrol agents, such as regalia, which is plant extract from Rhinotria saccharinensis. And then we had also some of the oils and potassium bicarbonate and neem oil. So I remember you asked Dr. Wyndham about neem oil. So we tested on Cercospora leaf spot management. This is outdoor study. And we did the spray interval specifically for neem oil 7 days. So here is our results again. When we look at the not treated control, it was close to 60%. But when we look at some of the treatments, they were statistically reducing the disease severity, which we had 2 fungicides and then 3 actually biocontrol agents, including regalia and mildew cure and green clean pro. They were good to reduce the severity for Cercospora leaf spot on hydrangea. So we have not noticed any phytotox related with neem oil. But we observed, of course, when we are conducting those type of studies, always we are looking for the phytotoxicity. So we had noticed the phytotoxicity because of green clean pro, which actually it was potassium bicarbonate. 2 other important powder mildew on 2 different crops, crepe myrtle and dogwood. So what we had done in this study, so we wanted to see if we are using the same spray program with different intervals, again, 14 and 21 days on 2 different crops, crepe myrtle and also dogwood, which both of them, they are infected with Erysipelas, but different species involving to cause the disease, powder mildew, on those 2 crops. So we wanted to know if the growers or landscapers, they will be using the same product on crepe myrtle and dogwood for powder mildew management, if they will be successful or not in a rotation program again. So here's our results, again, comparing each other, 14-day interval and 21-day interval. So we were able to manage well, have a look at the severities and the non-treated controls. So we were able to actually reduce the I need to make a note here. For crepe myrtle, we use 2 different cultivars, susceptible cultivars for powdery mildew. And according to our, again, results, we had the same pattern, and 14-day interval of the rotation program was effective in both powdery mildew management on both crops. So we also look at the Sarcospora leaf spot management on crepe myrtle. We use the mancocide, which include also copper product, and then 2 other fungicides to compare each other. And according to our, again, the results, the Sarcospora leaf spot control was best in all fungicide treatments compared to the non-treated control, including the copper fungicides, which was suggested by Dr. Wyndham just a couple of minutes ago. So prompt action helps to manage plant diseases. Scouting early diagnosis is very important to start the effective management. And please, if you have any questions about what is problem on your plants, communicate with the plant diagnostic labs, which one of them is located in Nashville. So I will be talking, highlighting, I think I have 5 more minutes. I will be highlighting the plant disease triangle here. So to be able to see the disease presence, we have to have 3 factors together: pathogen, host, and environment. If we hold one of them and eradicate one of them, we will be able to manage the problem. So my point here, sanitation. Sanitation is the formulation and application of measures designed to protect plant health, because you will be, again, eliminating or eradicating or disinfecting to reduce the pathogen population in that area, or completely eradicating. So sanitation is a term, and it includes, again, the removal of both infected materials and potential sources of infection, followed by disinfection of surfaces, sterilization of soil, propagation substrates. So many steps involved in the sanitation. So why you should use sanitation practices at plant production? So reduces risk of introduction and spread of the disease, more effective disease suppression and management of fungicide bactericide resistance, and improved biological control programs. And you will have healthy plants at the end. So some of the diseases, plant pathogens, can be transmitted. I have several examples here related to bacteria, fungi, and virus and viroids. And the way of mechanical transmissions could be with the shears you are using, or grafting tools could be. And we actually demonstrated this, how for example, this is for the grafting, how the grafting tool can carry the bacteria on the plant, and how many days later we can see the presence of the bacteria or increased population on the plants. So we use the bioluminescent Clavibacter species here. As you can see from the right-hand side, 2 images, up and down. So that when we use the grafting tool, dipped into the bioluminescent Clavibacter bacteria solution, and we did the grafting, and then let the plant growing, and then making the connections on the graft union, 20 days later, we usually actually under some systems, again, we call imaging system, we were able to see the movement of bacteria up and down. So this is the proof showing you, yes, mechanical transmission, yeah, that is the source of transmission. So again, I have so many disinfectant recommendations for eliminating the, again, pathogens. We would like to have, our recommendations need to be focusing on the, for example, different pathogens needs to be aimed, and the practice, again, recommended practice needs to be covering several pathogens, and it needs to have immediate action. So according to our research results, again, Clorox, Lysol, Vircon, those type of products could be effective on reducing the diseases in immediate contact. Different sources, if you would like to reach out our handbooks every year. Since 2015, I am compiling all the research results, plant disease management reports, and we are posting on our TSU extension site. So, or I can share those links with Natalia, and then she can share with you all. And you will be updated with those informations. So boxwood blight study again was funded by USDA. It's a quite teamwork. So we have so many. Virginia Tech is leading, and then all other institutions listed here we are involving. So this is my team. Actually, this was taken in February 2020, just before the COVID-19. That's the reason we are all close to each other. And so hopefully, again, we will be in the same situation again. And I'm thankful to my lab members. With their help, we were able to conduct all the research. So if you have any questions, please feel free to email me or call me. I will be happy to take your questions.
All right, thank you so much, Fulya. I'm gonna toss you a couple questions, and then we'll see what we've got in the chat box. So I will say that when you put up the slide that was showing all of the different common, largely shady landscape species that could be infected by the same pathogen as boxwood blight, that was a little startling. So have you seen the spread in the landscape beyond those plants, or were they really close to where the boxwoods were? Or
not in Tennessee? Maybe Alan witnessed for boxwood blight because he was observing this since 2014, and I'm involving since 2015. But not in Tennessee. But I know other states, they had been those pictures actually from other states, Connecticut, for example, North Carolina. They are seeing together all the, for example, Virginia, different hosts together and then defoliated with impacted by boxwood blight, definitely.
Okay. No, that's and we've got a question here about the burning. So when that sanitation measure for boxwood blight does reduce all of the inoculum load if done correctly.
Definitely, because as I mentioned, those microsclerotia and the conidias, they are on the defoliated leaves or whatever is on the surface of the soil. So if we clean up that carefully, and if we burn and kill the surface materials again, that will be impacting the reduction, or that will result the reduction on the inoculum level. So, and it had been confirmed with research results, definitely. And I didn't include here in the landscape condition, I know Virginia Tech, Chuan Hong also conducted some studies on using mulch. That is also impacting to reduce the disease level. For landscape, definitely mulch is recommended as well.
All right, and one last question I want to throw at you. So, I mean, I was encouraged by seeing what looked like good results out of some of the potassium bicarbonate, as well as some of the copper products. Are those the ones that you would most generally recommend as far as the organics or the biorationals? Definitely. According to, again, what you are dealing. So my suggestion, again, confirm what you have. So don't guess, please don't guess, and take samples to Dr. Windham Diagnostic Lab, or if you are close by to McMinnville, bring in samples. I will be happy to confirm the presence of the disease. Then we can recommend the products. And there are alternatives, definitely. Biocontrol agents, we have so many alternatives. And again, I will share the links for our handbooks. It has also different options for different disease or different pathosystem. So definitely there are alternatives for that reason. All right, that's excellent. So thank you very much for coming on and sharing your research with us, Fulya. And I'll send out that information to you guys when I do the follow-up email. in a little bit. I mean, I think for me, some of the most encouraging take-home messages are the great research that's being done in the commercial landscape production sector then have benefits to us as home growers because of the demonstrated efficacy of many of these lower impact materials that are available to all of us.
Definitely.
Yep.
Thank you very much for the invitation.